Hello everyone, and welcome back to the NintenGems podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jake, and I am joined by the ever so wonderful Braydon.
Hello, friends. It's nice to be back with you.
How you been doing, Braydon?
Man, I'm pretty good. Life has been a little busy, but it's always nice to be back here with you to talk some Nintendo.
Of course, yes, I love it. If you've never listened to NintenGems before, we are a Nintendo show where we talk about new games that we've been playing. We try and talk about a NintenGem, which is a retro-esque game that's kind of, in our wheelhouse, we've said kind of Wii back.
Yeah.
Maybe a Wii U game here and there, but, you know, they're running out of Wii U games for us to talk about.
I know. And man, that's a smooth transition into, I think our first topic. They have brought us another Wii U game. To be clear, this is Pikmin 3 Deluxe Edition. Pikmin 3 came out for the Wii U, which, as we've discussed many times on this podcast before, the Wii U is, generally an overlooked console, if not Nintendo's least selling console. So not many people got to play this game, but I would have liked a trilogy. That would have been pretty cool.
Now, honestly, that's what I was going to say. I thought that's what they were going to do, because it's kind of a no-brainer, in my opinion. Just, I guess not, because Nintendo just seems to want to ignore the GameCube era almost altogether.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would have liked that, especially because I haven't looked at like pre-orders or anything yet, but 99% positive they're going to go, Pikmin Deluxe, $60 please.
Yep.
Which is, I'm going to pay because I'm terrible.
Definitely.
And a lot of us will. I read a thing that was like, every time Microsoft or Sony does something like that, people are like, what are you doing? This is absurd. This is a ripoff. Mm-hmm. Every time Nintendo does it, people just go, okay.
That's so true.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I would have really liked a trilogy, because that would have made it feel like it was worth $60.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm happy to see Pikmin back regardless.
Yeah. So when it said Deluxe, I watched the trailer, and I was kind of hoping to see the purple and white Pikmin back from Pikmin 2. And that, maybe they were really going deluxe here. But it sounds like they're just adding some side content with Olimar and Louie. Kind of what they were doing during the events of Pikmin 3.
Or right before Pikmin 3.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Because if I remember correctly, Pikmin 3, you end up kind of saving them.
Right. Yeah. That's
you run across Louie, and then I think the final boss, spoiler alert, I guess.
Yeah.
You end up saving, like, you save Olimar, and then the game ends.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought when I saw Deluxe, I was hoping for them to ball out and bring all the Pikmin home, but.
Yeah, dude, we're talking about the company that put out Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze again and made it $60 and just put a easy mode Funky Kong in it, which even if you had played the game, especially, you put that on and it's just not even fun because it was easy mode.
Right.
So
right.
And then I don't think they added anything to Super Mario Bros. U.
I was about to say, was there a level builder? But no, that's called Mario Maker.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they might have added just you can play as all the characters,
right?
Or you can play as Nabbit or something at the beginning.
Yeah,
but it just it wasn't much. So honestly, we're kind of lucky that they're adding anything at all.
Sure, that's a totally fair point.
And it begs the question, though. Where's Pikmin 4? Pikmin 4 has been in development since 2014? It was when we heard it was happening.
When did Pikmin 3 come out?
I believe it's 2013.
Gotcha. So Pikmin 3 came out 2013, and then 2014 they announced they were working on the fourth installment.
Yeah,
which
it was
deluxe mode. Woo!
Not exactly.
Yeah.
He specifically said Pikmin 4.
Sure.
And that was, people might fact check me on that, but it was 2013, 2014, 2015. It was a long time ago at this point, And he's checked in a few times and been like, "Yep, still working on it," but he hasn't mentioned it in a long time now.
This makes me think that it's probably still a ways off. My gut tells me if they're just bringing out kind of this, I don't want to say random.
Or Nintendo, for some reason, out of every game company, seems to be crumbling under the COVID-19 pressure, more than anyone else. More than most Japanese companies. Because Japan has a very different work culture than, we do.
Sure.
Or the Western countries do, in that they really emphasize in-person office work. And at least from what I heard, when they had to go and kind of work from home, it was just kind of stuff on fire for months, just because it was just not going well.
Uh-huh.
So this almost kind of confirms my scary suspicion that they just don't have anything this year.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think they might have been holding on to this for a while. Mm-hmm. And when they went, nothing's coming out this fall. Okay, Pikmin 3.
We need an evergreen game to be able to release whenever.
Yeah. Or even if they weren't working on it, they were like, when this started, they were like, oh, now's the time. Add 3 hours of content onto Pikmin 3. You can do that in like a few months, right? Cool. Let's get that out. Because also, I'm really interested to see how this is going to sell. Honestly, like, is this really going to get new people in on Pikmin?
You know, I bet it would. I think there's a generation of kids that are picking up the Switch, and they've seen Olimar and Smash, and so they want to see what this is about. I don't feel like Pikmin 3 is the strongest entry, though.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I really like Pikmin. Again, Pikmin 3 was my introduction to the series, in all honesty. I have gone back. Spoiler alert, our gem for the week is Pikmin. I haven't played Pikmin 2, so if you're going to say that's your favorite, apologies. That's the one. That game is like $80 still. So I haven't been able to play that, but I've played the first one and the third one. And like I said, the third one was my introduction to the series. And man, I fell in love with it. Mm-hmm. I also think Nintendo is amazing. I say this a lot of times in my reviews of Nintendo first party games. I don't know how they do it, but they have a way with working with their hardware in a stupid way. They make games that look better than first party PlayStation and Xbox games on systems that are way weaker. Pikmin 3 on the Wii U looks amazing.
It so does.
That was the game, I think, on my Wii U, because, again, I was a Nintendo kid. I had a Wii. I had a 360, but also I was one of those kids who also kind of didn't know you could plug in an HDMI to it. You know what I mean? So I always just kind of played it with the audio and video cables.
Composite.
Yeah. And so when I got my Wii U, the Wii U was the true first HD system for me.
Yeah.
So I remember playing Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3 was the game. You know how you collect the fruits and you see the like big fruit, like the models. And I was like, yo, these fruits look insane. The only thing, I know there's probably a lot of people out there who haven't played, since the GameCube or the Wii or before then, and they haven't touched Pikmin and they do kind of want to get in, but are they going to look at this game and go, oh, it's Pikmin 3 though? I haven't played the first two. I wouldn't understand the deep story and lore of Pikmin.
Right.
People wouldn't exactly think that, but a lot of times when there are numbered sequels,
I don't pick up 3 without playing the first couple.
Exactly. Even though with these games, it literally matters not at all, you know? And there's a lot of games where it's like that. But that's one reason why we got Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, 4, and they went, oh, we don't want to get up to Assassin's Creed 8 or something, because then people are going to be like, well, I've never played Assassin's Creed before. And they won't understand that those games are kind of,
delineated.
Right. So that's the only thing that I'm thinking might maybe dissuade people from picking this up.
Well, and again, I phrased it as, I don't think this is the strongest entry in the series, but that is kind of tangentially what I meant as well. I'm surprised if they weren't going to make it a triple pack, you know what I mean? At least start with the first one, perhaps.
Right.
Or bundle the first two digitally. I don't know. Something like that.
So I guess before we get off this topic altogether and start going into what we've been playing, what are your predictions for what the rest of the year is going to look like for Nintendo? Because, 12 hours ago, we had no idea. Literally,
there was no lineup.
There was nothing.
And now we have one.
And it's not. But the sad thing is, it's just a remaster.
Right.
So
not even a remaster.
Just like a re-release.
Would they?
Probably not. It's just a re-release. It's just a port, basically.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen for the rest of the year?
I don't know. I do think Nintendo's going to have to drop something come holiday season to compete with, Xbox and PlayStation. They're going to be hot this holiday season, and Nintendo's going to want a slice of that. I don't think, they're going to be able to quite compete, come Christmas.
That's to be expected, though, with the new consoles and everything.
Right. But, shoot. I would not be surprised at a Breath of the Wild 2 shadow drop, something like this. Sneak drop for holidays 2020, baby.
Come on,
Breath of the Wild 2, bring it.
I would love that, but
They teased it already, man. And they didn't do that for Pikmin or Paper Mario.
Yeah, but also Nintendo has a history generally of teasing games years before we see them. Metroid Prime 4. I know that one's kind of a special case because they had to restart development.
Yeah.
But Metroid Prime 4, even just Breath of the Wild was announced years before it came out. Mario Odyssey. No, Mario Odyssey wasn't. Mario Odyssey was announced at the Switch's launch. Point is, they do normally they announce games and sit on them for a long time. Bayonetta 3 was announced forever ago, and we just don't know where that is.
Look, man, don't dash my hopes like that. I'm trying to be optimistic here. We're going to get some good games by year's end, and it'll be great.
It's so weird because the Nintendo fan base online is so kind of doom and gloom right now when Nintendo is still more successful than they've ever been. I was going to say, Nintendo almost doesn't need to get a piece of the holiday pie because they got that holiday pie in March.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no doubt.
They sold so many Switches earlier this year.
Oh, my gosh.
Between Animal Crossing and the pandemic. Because when the pandemic happened, the whole video game industry saw a bit of a bump, but Nintendo retail places were running out of PlayStations and Xboxes. But before that, Nintendo was just gone. The Switch was gone.
Yeah.
And again, that had a lot to do with Animal Crossing. But the point is, they sold like hotcakes already this year. So that's the other thing is with how good Animal Crossing sold, they might just not be worried because they're like, hey, we did it. We win.
2020 is cool.
Yeah. Because we got Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
But it really sucks if you don't like Animal Crossing. If you don't like Animal Crossing or you're not into the more niche releases they've had this year, like if you don't like Animal Crossing, you don't like Paper Mario, you don't like Clubhouse games, if you don't like Xenoblade, it's not, there's not much this year for you on the Switch. And a lot of those, especially Xenoblade and Animal Crossing, they can be niche. Animal Crossing blew up, but for a lot of quote unquote hardcore gamers, Animal Crossing isn't the game for them.
It's not a game to them, Right. They don't see it as fun.
Yeah. Animal Crossing is I hate to say it, it's almost kind of like the normie video game.
Oh, yeah.
It's so non-gamey. That's why it was so popular.
Yeah.
And man, I would love for Nintendo to release official numbers because all the numbers that we have, as far as I know, are based on physical sales only. Because pretty much all the sales charts that we get out are just based on physical sales. And then when it comes to digital, it's up to the platform holder. Like PlayStation releases their digital sales like every month, but I don't think Nintendo does. So Animal Crossing has been number 1, number 2, or number 3 every month this year so far without counting digital. And I know I bought digital. My girlfriend bought digital. A bunch of my friends bought digital. So like
the numbers are undoubtedly there.
It's definitely the number 1 selling game so far this year. Will it be at the end of the year after Call of Duty and stuff? Questionable, but it'll definitely be 1 or 2, I think.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. But I don't know, man. Do you have any predictions for the year?
People online are really hot about that Mario trilogy. Have you seen that?
I don't know. This Pikmin 3 Deluxe drop. So the same people that were hype about that Mario trilogy we're also hype about a Pikmin trilogy, and today has kind of, squashed that.
Yeah, I don't know.
A Mario trilogy seems way too good to be true.
Yeah, but it is Mario's 35th anniversary this year, or 35th birthday or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I could see it happening, especially since we just really haven't seen those games officially re-released in a while.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I would be thrilled if I saw those, re-released.
Oh yeah,
especially bundled together.
It'd be so great to have an excuse to go back and play 64 and Sunshine and Galaxy. Oh, I love Galaxy.
Galaxy's great. Anyway, my hopes aren't up, but it would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't think I would have said Pikmin 3 this holiday. So your guess is as good as mine, honestly. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be getting Breath of the Wild 2 this year. I don't know. Pikmin 3, I'm going to get it day 1. You'll hear our thoughts about it.
Oh, no doubt.
All right, I guess let's go ahead and get into the new games we've been playing, which admittedly, from what I know about me and what I know about you, isn't really much this week, which I guess is one reason we decided to talk about Pikmin 3.
Right. Yeah, we definitely wanted to cover that, get a little new content out there, but I've been playing a bit of an older game, came out 2017. You want me to go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I picked up Sonic Mania a couple weeks ago. Yes. And let me tell you, it has been a delight. Have you played it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was day 1 for Sonic Mania.
Gotcha. And, I am a bit ashamed to say that I have not touched it yet because I heard great things from the get-go. But wow, man, like they did Sonic right here. I mean, starting from just the opening sequence, the sounds, the graphics, they are like Genesis to a T. And oh my goodness, the nostalgia wave that hit me, and then it almost follows the opening sequence of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 almost perfectly, and then it changes. Like a different bad guy appears. Eggman
Well,
appears.
if you remember Sonic 3, they land on the island and then Knuckles shows up and
Yeah.
punches Sonic and takes all the Chaos Emeralds.
Uh-huh. And in this one, yeah, that's right. Eggman's robot comes down and digs an emerald up.
Yeah.
And hauls it off. And from there, you can definitely tell that this is a different game. They aren't rehashing entirely just the first 3 Sonic games, but it feels like a proper sequel to those original Sega Genesis entries.
So did you play those growing up, or?
I did. We actually had a Sega Genesis growing up and everything. Like we have the cartridges at home. So yeah, we're not just Nintendo, but.
So for me, I love 2D classic Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have talked about this a little bit back in our Sonic Adventure episode.
Yeah. Sonic
Adventure 2 episode. But I've always been a big 2D Sonic guy. Pretty iffy on 3D Sonic, but I've always loved 2D Sonic, especially Sonic 3 and Knuckles, dude.
Oh my gosh.
So good. Classic 90s game. It's just, I do not have enough good things to say about Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yes. And again, that intro just evoked so many memories of that game, and they haven't let me down yet. I mean, admittedly, the first zone is Green Hill Zone, and so like that's, oh, roll your eyes. That's so Sonic. That's boring. But they take it to new levels that I haven't seen before. Some of the boss battles, I mean, Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine as the second boss.
Yes.
Holy cow. I was in awe. They really brought brand new, wonderful mechanics to an old formula.
Yeah, Sonic Mania is what began the kind of revival of Sonic, honestly, because Sonic has been so bad for so long now. And then Sonic Mania comes along, and Sega did almost all the right things.
Mm-hmm.
They recruited Christian Whitehead, I believe is his name, who was the main developer of this game, and he was a big online developer of kind of like Sonic fan games.
Right.
He was the main developer on the like iOS ports of the first few Sonic games, which were like notoriously amazing.
Yes.
Like that was a weird notoriously amazing. Yeah, they were. People loved those ports. They were like, these are some of the best ports of Sonic ever. Mm-hmm. So by getting him on and being like, hey, you're in charge, like make us a new Sonic game, amazing decision.
Yes.
And he did great from the graphics to the music in this game.
Hooey.
So good.
Uh-huh.
Everything about this is just
well, and so again, kind of it has a beautiful mix of throwback and brand new. So the second level is Chemical Plant Zone, which you might remember from, I believe, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 as like the second level. Anyway, the first zone plays very similarly to how you would remember it from the original, and then the second, it remixes the music, it changes the water physics, and again, just I can't speak highly enough of the refreshing take they had on just 2D platforming Sonic that I thought was dead.
Yeah, it's great. It definitely revived 2D Sonic interest.
Wasn't there another Sonic game fairly recently that tried Sonic?
Sonic Forces came out pretty much right after this game. Mm-hmm. I think it was either a year after or even just like a few months. Sonic Mania was so popular that, well, they've always been, Sonic Generations did kind of the same thing where they had 2D Sonic levels, and they just kind of shoehorned 2D Sonic levels into Sonic Forces.
Right.
Even because 2D Sonic is just in. And 2D Sonic is doing great because Sonic Forces was like a meh game. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like great. Nobody really has strong opinions on Sonic Forces.
Yeah.
But it was almost the fault. Mania probably hurt Forces, honestly, because Mania was just so good. And then Forces was just so meh.
Right.
But
well, in Sonic Generations actually was what I was thinking of when I mentioned it, because I know they tried to make another nostalgia based, they wanted to hit like both the 3D and the 2D.
Do you like Generations?
I didn't play it. That's the thing.
Oh, it's great.
Is it?
Generations is really good. Yeah, it's like 2012 or something. It's on 360, PS3, PC. I don't think it's on It's on like 3DS or something, but
Sure.
it's not a great port. It's really good. Everybody likes Sonic Generations.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I figured Mania was kind of the next step off that.
Sure. Except, you've got like at least 2 or 3 mediocre 3D Sonic games in between there.
Right.
But yeah, I really do see Mania as the beginning of the next generation of good Sonic media.
Mm-hmm.
We got Mania, which is amazing. We got Forces, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're really taking their time on this next Sonic game.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be like the next 3D Sonic game. So hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah.
And then we got the Sonic movie, which I really enjoyed. Did you see?
Man, I didn't make it. I just need to Redbox it or something.
I was going to say, yeah, it's out on Blu-ray and all that now. So I recommend it. I thought it was fun.
I saw Detective Pikachu, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So I think just it would only be fair to give Sonic a chance to.
It's definitely a kiddie movie. It's definitely for kids. But I don't know. I thought it was competently made.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Fair enough.
I'm excited for Sonic 2 coming in 2022.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But yeah.
Anyway, we can move off Sonic Mania, but I found it at Walmart for $20, and I feel like I underpaid almost. This is a solid game. If you enjoy 2D Sonic at all, then this is a wonderful addition to your collection.
Heck yeah.
All right, man. What have you been playing this week?
So, very, very briefly, I only have one game really on Switch I've been playing because, again, we might be having a kind of non-Nintendo podcast where we talk about just some of my other escapades and some of Braydon's other escapades. So stay tuned for that. But I've been doing a lot of non-Nintendo this week. I've been kind of taking a little break from writing. I'm in the process of moving. I feel like I'm always saying I'm moving.
You have been moving for 6 months, but yeah.
But this is the final big move, I guess. So I just kind of took some time to be like, I'm just not going to write or review anything. So I've just been taking some low-key time to play some games in my backlog and stuff, which sadly haven't been on the Switch. But before I took that little break, I did review a game for Noisy Pixel called Crysis Remastered on the Switch, which I was very interested to play.
Yeah.
Because what do you know about Crysis?
So I remember being in 8th grade and pulling up a picture on my iPod Touch of, it's like 2 pictures of a jungle. And one of them's real and one of them's Crysis. And you have to see if your friend can figure out which one's real. The point being that the graphics were so good for that day and age that you couldn't distinguish what was real life and what was this new Crysis godlike graphical engine. And so, yeah, that's more or less what I know, is that Crysis is a benchmark for graphics. Yeah,
that's pretty head on. It was known, I think the first one came out in 2007, and then it was like 07, 09, and like 11.
Yeah.
Were the 3 Crysis games. And every single time on PC, it was always your PC's good, but can your PC run Crysis at full graphics? It just always had really, really good graphics, really good, effects and everything.
I feel like this was like pre-Skyrim. The next big game to, can you run Skyrim full blast?
Yeah, it was definitely, that's what it was kind of known for. And it's a first-person shooter where you're fighting like alien things and also the North Koreans, and like, you're on an island in the Philippines. All of them kind of have a tropical feel, so that kind of helps to the graphic stuff. But the point is, it was known for that back then. The series has been dead since 2011, and they announced earlier this year they were remastering the first game for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. And so people got really excited, less so for the Switch version because it's the Switch. What can it really do?
Right.
More so for the other versions and the PC. They were going to overhaul it on PC. And so recently they released, I think it was a week or 2 before it came out, maybe even more than that. I think it was a week to 3 weeks before the game was supposed to come out. They released like a trailer. It just didn't look all that good. And the internet blew up, and so they delayed the game. They delayed it on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and I think Switch. But then a week later, they were like, never mind, it's still coming out on Switch.
Gotcha.
So I was like, whoa, this is a weird situation.
Interesting.
I got to check this out. So what I will say about Crysis Remastered, it feels very 2007.
Yeah.
Just in its tone, in its graphics, which I'll get into more a little later, but especially just the gameplay and the tone, really felt like I was playing one of those, like, it's trying really hard to feel dark and gritty.
Ooh, yeah.
And it takes place in the futuristic year of 2020.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it takes place in 2020, and you play as a, like, team of black ops military people, and you've got these, like, exosuits that enhance, they can make you run super fast, they give you super strength, they can make you turn invisible, and you can activate like this heavy armor that makes you take like way less damage.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what quote unquote makes you special, And you get dropped on this island, and then it's an island in the Philippines that they got a report that the North Koreans were trying to take over for some reason. So you're basically 6-person like team sent in to kind of like fix the issue,
Sure.
And then when they get there, they realize, there's something that's going on here. There's a crazy alien threat,
Right.
that's actually here. The whole story, like I said, just feels very 2007, very Xbox 360.
Yes.
Just dated. But you're not going to play Crysis for the story,
Right.
You're going to play it, for the graphics and for, the gameplay. So I guess I'll get right into it. The graphics, the game looks like it's from 2007.
Oh,
again.
No.
It just, it doesn't look bad. It looks better than a lot of games, but it's going for that realistic art style.
Yeah.
So.
Which the Switch doesn't quite necessarily have the power to back that up.
Right. And so I wasn't really impressed. It doesn't look bad by any means, but it definitely looks 2007.
Yeah.
What I was kind of impressed by is I really liked, they have kind of a most buildings and most objects are destructible kind of thing in this game,
That's
which
nice.
I love because it
Absolutely.
really helps. It really makes me feel like, it helps for immersion.
Sure.
So I love getting into, and this game takes place in like on a tropical island in a bunch of forests and rainforests and stuff. So I love getting into a firefight in the forest and the trees are just falling down around you because you're just blasting through the, through the trees and they're falling down. You go into a lot of the huts, a lot of the houses are kind of like huts, they're kind of flimsy. You go into one, someone shoots it with a rocket launcher, a tank shoots it, a grenade blows up. The building just falls apart.
Yeah.
There are definitely some structures and stuff that won't blow up and all that, but I don't know. That I still think is cool. And I think that does kind of have to do with the technical specs because that takes more out of the system. That's why most games don't do that.
Sure.
Because it takes power to be able to process every single thing as its own,
It's a very intentional decision to have destructible environments because, yes, like you said, it'll take a lot of power away from other aspects of the game.
Right. So that was cool. Also, though, the game was not good technically.
Oh, no.
Lots of frame rate drops, especially when crazy stuff is happening, especially on handheld mode. Because that was one of the cool things is, I don't know, it's just neat to play a first-person shooter like a quote-unquote AAA, AAA 13 years ago.
Yeah.
But AAA, first-person shooter, on the go, in the palm of my hand, sitting on my bed.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I would definitely do that. And it runs really poorly on Switch. The graphics definitely take more of a hit. Not on Switch. It runs really poorly in handheld mode.
I see.
And the graphics take even more of a hit, obviously, in handheld mode. The game crashed on me like 4 times.
Wow.
Not even like, how some games, I don't know if you've ever had a game crash on you on Switch, but when a game crashes, it'll be like, boom, an error appeared. And it just closes you out. That didn't even happen. I'm talking, the game freezes, like old school stuff. The game freezes and goes,
no way.
Yeah. Or not even that. Like most of the time it happened to me in firefights. So I'd be like, bah, 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 and it would just get stuck on the like, not even that. It would just get stuck on the like, bah, 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 bah,
oh, wow.
noise. Yeah. And my controller was rumbling, it would just rumble forever until I pressed out. It would let me quit it. But that happened to me like 4 times. So that was interesting. Like I said, the frame rate would take hits when I was doing heavy stuff. So yeah.
So did they drop it for Switch because they knew they couldn't quite get it much better, and that's why they're holding off on the other consoles?
Probably. Honestly, they didn't obviously say that. Yeah. But I would assume they were like,
Switch is maxed out.
Right. They were like, there's nothing else we're going to be able to do on here. So I'm sure that's why they just dropped it. I will say the game is fun though. It's not open world, but it really makes it feel like it is. They'll just drop you into like this huge space and be like, here's your objective, go do it. And since you have you can turn invisible or you can go like full like metal mode, you can really choose how you tackle situations. So pretty much every situation, if you're smart about it, you can stealth your way through. Not amazing stealth mechanics, as you can't like sneak up behind people and take them out. You have to like sneak around and just kind of shoot them in the head with your silencer and stuff. But you can choose to do that, or you can just go in guns blazing. Both ways are fun. It definitely, like I said, it makes it feel like it's open world, even though it isn't. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with that, and it's a good time waster. But I believe the game is $30, not worth $30. I'll say that. definitely 10, $20. In conclusion, I would say Crysis is a good game. Go play Crysis. Don't play it on Switch. You know?
Fair enough.
I
It's
think
probably $5 on Steam, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure. I think I gave it a 6 or a 6.5. We'll see how the PS4, Xbox One ports turn out.
I was gonna say, would it be a 7? You think on a stronger console?
If it ran better and looked a little bit better, 7, 7.5, 8. You know, it's a good game.
Yeah,
I think it is. It's not, I don't know,
revolutionary.
Like I said, it feels just so aggressively last generation edginess.
Yeah,
and I just don't like games like that. So I don't know,
mm-hmm.
But I think it's a good game. I think if it ran better and if it looked a little bit better, it would definitely be worth it.
Cool. Well, yeah, you've definitely fed me more Crysis information than I've ever had before, other than just pretty graphics.
Yeah.
So I guess for now, I'm going to have to hold off on any more Crysis, though.
Yeah, like it just really isn't worth it.
Right.
Not bad. It's not like, oh, this game's terrible. It's not Deadly Premonition. Like, do not buy this game.
Yeah.
But it's, it's just, I just don't think it's worth it. If this is your only way to play Crysis, if you just really want to play Crysis, like, sure, you'll get Crysis as long as the game doesn't crash on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just not. Play it a different way.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I guess you want to go ahead and get into our NintenGem of the week?
All right. Yes, I would love to. And we're kind of carrying on from an earlier conversation. We're going to try and keep it thematic here. Our NintenGem of the week is Pikmin for the GameCube.
Heck yeah, my dude.
So you said that you've played the first Pikmin and the third Pikmin.
Right.
You played the first Pikmin second, though.
I did.
And how did it compare to the third, would you think?
Obviously it isn't as polished. It doesn't have those pretty pristine HD graphics, but I think it's just as good, honestly. Yeah. A little bit less, there's less Pikmin. I think there's actually still a lot of Pikmin. Isn't there the red, yellow, blue, and then is that it?
Yeah, and that's it for the first one. You just have the 3, and which it does feel like a lot. I mean, if you're playing Pikmin for the first time, and you've picked up Pikmin 1 as your first Pikmin game, it feels like a lot to manage even 3 types of Pikmin. And so when they bring in 2 extra varieties in the later games, that's another beast to manage. But yeah, so you have the red, the blue, and the yellow Pikmin in the first game, and they're cute little plant creatures that you grow from seeds, and then they'll help you pick up treasures and fight monsters.
Yeah, and it's just brimming with charm, as so many Nintendo games are. I love the Pikmin. I think they're adorable. They're awesome little creatures. I feel terrible every single time one of them dies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a sacrifice that has to be made. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get home. I'm trying to get my rocket ship built, Right. But yeah, I do know what you mean. After a tough battle and you've lost like 3/4 of your Pikmin, you do feel kind of guilty.
They die and you see their little ghost go up,
yeah.
and they go,
yeah. It's pretty sad. But okay, one strong mechanic that deterred me from this game as a younger child, but it has grown on me over time, would be the 30-day time limit that Pikmin 1 presents you.
Dude, it's so stressful to me.
I agree. And while I do think it's difficult and provides kind of an artificial challenge to the game, I think it also ties the game together really well and puts a sense of pressure on the player to continue exploring at a timely rate.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a huge fan of games that do that. For some reason, Pikmin just is an exception. A lot of times when games are just timed, I mean, even I say that, but I mention it every week, but Persona 5 is kind of timed. But even with that, it's not like, hey, it's the afternoon, you have 3 real world minutes to do everything that you need to do.
Right.
It's like, oh, you've got 2 slots in the day, and then you have 30 of these days, and then you have to be done. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in Pikmin, it's like, hey, good morning. The clock is running. Yeah. Go,
Real time. Yes.
Exactly. And if you don't finish everything in time, game over.
Olimar kind of dies on this planet.
It's kind of dark.
Right?
Pretty much.
I mean, I think he's stranded. What are some of your favorite memories of the game? How did you first stumble upon it?
Well, like I said, Pikmin 3 was my first experience with the series. And then honestly, I didn't play Pikmin 1 again. Or I didn't play Pikmin 1 until college.
Hmm.
Recently in the past 2 years, I've started to slowly just buy up GameCube collection that I'm pretty proud of. It's not huge, but I've got some good stuff.
You have a solid collection.
I bought Kirby Air Ride yesterday. Yeah.
Ooh, that my heart skipped a beat there. That is a gem.
Yeah. So GameStop actually used to have amazing retro deals, like that you wouldn't think. So I went on GameStop.com about 2 years ago now and bought up a bunch of GameCube games. And the risk there was some games you got in the box, some games you just got the disc.
Right.
Pikmin, I just got the disc, but then I found on eBay for like $15 the case. So I bought the case. And now I have quote unquote the full experience. Yeah. I don't think it has a manual, but whatever. So I played it freshman year of college. And yeah, I mean, I loved it. I mean, it's like Pikmin 3, but less. But I don't think like a lot of sequels or like a lot of original games. I don't know, because it's not a prequel.
Right. Yeah, that's funny.
Like a lot of precursor games, original games or whatever. It doesn't suffer because the future games were improved upon. I think it really still holds up.
It absolutely does. I would agree. The game doesn't change when you add new varieties of Pikmin. The mechanics and the objectives remain the same, that you have to control your army of Pikmin to fulfill tasks. And just having 3 instead of 5, like you said, it doesn't feel any less fulfilling. And the puzzles are still there, for your 3 varieties. So do you know about this game's like track record in Japan?
Maybe not, no.
So apparently Pikmin 1, I've been yet to find a solid source on this, but I've read on multiple websites and articles that for some reason Pikmin did not sell well in Japan. And so shortly after the release, they created a virtual like singing group starring the 3 Pikmin, the red, blue, and yellow. And it's I Know Tuma or something. So this virtual group of Pikmin released a single, essentially.
Strawberry Flower?
Strawberry Flower, yes. That is the name of the group. They released a single in Japan that hit the top of the charts, like for a significant period of time, and maybe it was just a couple days or a week. But
their single sold 632,000 copies.
Which is, the point of all this, is more than the game sold itself in Japan. The single sold more than the game.
That's crazy.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't know if American audiences carried the interest of this game into sequels or what really happened, but I just thought that's a kind of interesting and bizarre piece of trivia. Do you recognize this?
No.
I think it's in Pikmin 2.
It's so chill. I don't know. When you said that, I was like, oh, it's going to be like a Pikmin.
No, I almost recall that as like the credits song that they roll on Pikmin 2 or something like that. It's a very relaxing and easygoing song, but apparently it charted in Japan, which I wouldn't think it would chart here in the States, but
it's wild. Yeah, I don't know. They've got 3 other singles.
Yeah.
They had 2. They had one in 2002, one in 2004, and then one in 2017 for Hey Pikmin.
Really?
Yeah. Which is weird.
Yeah.
The other ones like didn't do well at all. Like, so yeah, you got that first single. This is a really weird tangent, but I think this is interesting.
Yeah.
The first one, 632,000 copies. The second one, about 4 months later, actually, in March of 2002, 115,000. And then they had a song in 2004, probably to correspond with Pikmin 2.
Probably.
Only did 15,000. Hey Pikmin only did 12,000. So at that point, you probably only had diehards of the game caring about it.
Yeah. Strawberry Flowers. Look them up if you're interested.
How interesting.
They're bangers.
It's so funny. Here it says members: red Pikmin, yellow Pikmin,
blue
Pikmin,
my gosh,
purple Pikmin, white Pikmin, winged Pikmin, and the rock Pikmin. All members
there
of the
you
band.
Go.
That's so weird.
So yeah, that wasn't a piece of trivia. That wasn't a piece of trivia that I had, playing it back then, back in the day, but something that I've come across in my more recent studies.
Right, for sure. Speaking of back in the day, what's your history with Pikmin?
Yeah, so I think we discussed on a kind of a recent episode, just going back to Hollywood Video and Blockbuster Video and renting games. I very clearly recall renting Pikmin. And as a 10-year-old, the 30-day time period really stressed me out. I loved the game. I loved the Pikmin. I thought the kind of mix of real-time strategy and resource management, was an awesome blend that I had never experienced before as a kid. And so I actually, we didn't own this game until just a few years ago, but I only played it via Hollywood Video or Blockbuster Video. We did go on to own Pikmin 2, and I've played that more times than I can count. But yeah, we didn't own Pikmin 1 back in the day. We picked that up more recently. But it was a regular rental from the companies.
Now, this is completely off topic, and we can cut this out. But we were talking about Hollywood Video and stuff. One of my I don't know, one of my biggest memories of like a Hollywood Video game or a Blockbuster game was all I remembered is it was this game. I couldn't remember the title of it. I could clearly see the cover was a kid going like with like monsters around him, and the game was like a mini game collection where you would create a monster and then play mini games with it.
I know what game that is.
I found out what it was again recently. But
Amazing Island?
Yes.
I own that.
You own it right now?
I own that.
Oh my God, dude. So I had this epiphany. So I was watching a YouTuber that I like called Austin Eruption, made a video called Sega. He's doing like a series of Sega past the Dreamcast, and the last one was about the GameCube. And the last game he talked about was this, and he was like a really weird mini game called Amazing Island, or mini game collection called Amazing Island, and the cover popped up, this cover right there, and I went, wow, that's it, that's the game, that's been hidden in my I rented it, and I don't even think I liked it, but I just remember it like sticking out because it's so weird, dude.
It was bizarre.
We'll talk about it later. You don't have to include any of this at all.
Yeah,
but we can. I want to talk about the game because I'm gonna buy it. It's only worth like $20. Like,
yeah, I don't think it's like a well-known thing at all.
Nah, I'm buying that, dude.
Crap, now I gotta play it. That's funny.
It's so weird.
Dude, making the monsters was super fun. I spent way more time doing that than any of the mini games.
Yeah. Oh well. Back to Pikmin.
Yes.
Yeah, so as I said, I really think Pikmin 1 on the GameCube holds up really well. Makes me kind of sad that we're probably not going to get that Pikmin trilogy now that we've got Pikmin 3 Deluxe, because I would love to revisit it on the Switch.
We mentioned this last week with Super Mario Sunshine, but a lot of these GameCube games are just borderline impossible to play either without an emulator or paying upwards of $50. Now,
Pikmin, was it re-released on the Wii? I know Pikmin 2 was.
Wow, you know what? You might be right.
But even if it was, those ports are expensive on their own, you know?
Do you mean the Wii U?
No, the Wii.
Oh, dude, you're right.
Yeah, they did.
You're right.
See? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I forgot they released almost like a greatest hits version of Pikmin for the Wii.
The Nintendo Selects, they like slapped motion controls in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they released Pikmin and Pikmin 2 on the Wii. But now even, like I said, even finding those is expensive. Those are $50 games on their own now.
Right.
So yeah, it really is a high barrier of entry unless you're going to emulate it, which, we can't professionally recommend here.
Yeah.
Unless it's a stupid game like Chibi Robo. By stupid, I meant stupid expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, like you said, it is kind of trapped on the GameCube or even on the Wii because, like I said, those are kind of hard to find in their own.
Right. And at the moment, I think all we can do is cross our fingers for Nintendo to release at least some kind of stronger, backlog of digital releases. I'd pay bukus for so many games.
Yes, as I know a lot of us would.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. Okay, so Pikmin on the Wii will only run you loose $20, but you probably don't want to buy it loose. Complete in box, $30. So that's not terrible, but that's,
that's not the worst thing I've ever heard.
On the GameCube, it's if you want a complete in box, it's going to run you $47.
Okay.
Pikmin 2, $76 now. Like,
Yowza.
I wish I would have snatched up Pikmin 2 back when it was cheaper.
Is that a quality of game thing, or did it sell less and there's fewer copies out in the world, you think?
It could be either.
Who knows?
I guess we'll never know.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Well, do you have any kind of closing thoughts on Pikmin on the GameCube?
Yeah, which color is your favorite?
I guess the red one.
Why?
Dang, dude, you're coming at me.
Yes.
With this. I don't know. I like his like fire thing. You know how he can.
Yeah.
I don't know how he can just kind of survive in the fire and stuff like that. I've always kind of liked that. Although I don't know, because I also like, dude, I don't know. I like them all because the electric ones are dope.
And they have ears. That's
true,
cute.
they do.
The yellow ones have ears.
And the blue ones can swim.
Yeah.
So,
dude, once you find the blue ones, it feels like the whole game is like unlocked. Like the rest of the world is accessible.
Because you can finally go through all these rivers and stuff.
So maybe the blue is just my favorite by sheer utility. But all right, that's all I got, man.
Cool. Which one's your favorite? You say the blue?
No, I think yellow. Yellow is pretty adorable.
Because he's so cute.
Yeah, go and it'll fly. Not fly, but you can throw him farther.
Right.
Yeah. Yellow is probably where it's at for me.
Well, I am very happy to add Pikmin on the GameCube to the NintenGems Hall of Fame.
All right, round of applause.
All right, guys. I guess that's going to about do it for us this week.
Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. As always, make sure that you are finding us on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, including YouTube. We'd love to have you subscribed there. Please give us a follow, a like, and we would love to hear back from you if you have any comments or suggestions for our show.
Yeah, you follow us on Twitter at NintenGems. You can find us on Facebook at NintenGems, and our email is
NintenGems@gmail.
Heck yeah! And you can find me on Twitter at Jakey Wakey with 2 Y's. If you go on Facebook, if you use Facebook like an old person like we do, Jake Yoder, Entertainment Journalist.
Leave me alone on the internet. Don't find me. But follow NintenGems. Anyway, that's all we got for you this week, guys. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Braydon.
I'm Jake.
And this has been NintenGems.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Cool. Good show.